Good day everyone, Wolfie here. This is my little set of videos on my guitar playing and whether or not I can actually play one, which I have severe doubts about, but that's me. I always doubt myself, probably more than anyone. People say, have faith, but I am one of the faithless. I do not have faith. And, I think I look at things, I evaluate things quite well and my capabilities, and I just don't think that I could play guitar. So obviously the best course of action was to actually get a guitar and say, well, here it is now, learn the bloody thing. Now this video, before I start, is for those who have never touched a guitar in their life, and this is how I've been feeling, like an 80-year-old bloke who has never had anything technical in his life, is a little bit afraid of the television remote control, and suddenly for his birthday somebody shoves an iPad into his lap, and it's all like, oh my god. That's how I felt about the guitar. Now, it turned up early, and I had been watching a few YouTube videos about how to play, and I found those a little bit useful, but still a little bit mysterious because I don't know much. A friend of mine handed me this book, which is kind of useful, but the problem is with books and me is that I don't tend to, it doesn't really work for me very well. And you tend to get bored really quick with books. I think they're all right to refer to when you get stuck. I certainly do. I'm that kind of person where I get something and I experiment with it first. And then when something strikes me as difficult, I'll refer to the manual and then go, aha, I know. Okay, so basically this video and the other videos that I've made about this are for people who have been thinking about getting a guitar of some sort, and in this case we're talking about an electric one because an acoustic guitar simply won't work with this software that I'm going to talk about. And you might be thinking, well, I'd be hopeless. I could never figure this out. So this is for you, because the thing is, in the end, if you see me playing a guitar later on in this series of videos, you'll know, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. So first of all, what I'm going to introduce you to is the software that turned up. Now, I bought this from Amazon, and it's the old Rocksmith game, which came out a few years ago. This is the 2014 edition. The new version. I'm sure there'll be another one out now that I've bought this, but you can get this in two different forms, and you basically have the thing itself. It's on 2 discs. It's for PC and Mac, and I've got friends who use Steam a lot. They're gamers. What I found out about this, which was a bit frustrating, was you get this and it's on your 2 discs, and you expect it to work completely out of the box, but then you've got to log into Steam and get your files down from there. So you really need a really good internet connection. I wouldn't recommend this if you're out in the bush somewhere and you haven't really got good internet. Otherwise, it's going to be really frustrating, because it took me, even with cable internet, it took me quite a long time to download the thing. So, but anyway, that's the software component. So I don't know, I sort of don't know why I've got that. Maybe the video lessons are all on that, and maybe there's very little software. I'm not really sure. It just seems really odd that I had to download so much. But you also get a cable, and you need this cable. There are cheap cables that you can get, cheap Chinese cables, which are about $12. But apparently they won't work with the game. They will allow you to plug your guitar into the computer, but they won't do anything with Rocksmith. So you must have this cable. So yeah, you can buy it with or without a cable. Apparently what you can do is just log on to Steam and download it that way, so that you don't need to buy the discs, and just order this from Amazon. So that's what I did. Okay, so I've got this thing, and I'm still finding the guitar quite an alien object, and I'm trying to play one of the songs, and they didn't give me many notes, of course, because I'm starting off so early on. And for those who don't know, if you've ever seen Guitar Hero, it looks like that. Only thing is, I thought Guitar Hero wasn't a great thing, because basically at the end, hey, I'm really good at Guitar Hero. Well, so what? You're not playing a real guitar, are you? So what's the point? I just can't see what the point is spending so much time and effort on a game that's not going to get you anywhere. Whereas this, at least at the end, the idea is to say, well, hey, I can play a guitar, or at least I know my way around a guitar, and I'm starting to get the hang of it. And that's the point that I sort of want to get to. If I can start to think to myself, hey, I'm getting somewhere, this is showing some kind of promise, that's going to lift me up far more than anything. Now, the problem is, at the moment, I'm missing a lot of notes when I'm playing the real game. But fortunately, Rocksmith comes with a set of mini games called the Guitarcade, and you go in there and you can play some really kind of like cheesy 80s arcade games. Like there's one where some baddies are coming into a saloon, and you have to shoot the baddies by hitting the right string on the guitar. And I found that really quite challenging. And what they don't want you to do is look at the guitar and sort of go, oh, I think it's that string, and be really slow at it. They want you to sort of get the feel of it, much like touch typing, I would expect, in a way, and then find the strings, know what color they're supposed to be according to the color on the screen, and pluck the right string and shoot the baddie. And, well, I started off pretty awful, with pretty awful score. It was like about 9,000, which isn't much. And it sort of hung around that for a while, and I thought, oh, this isn't going too well, is it? And then I started to go up to about 90,000, and I thought, oh, something's going on here. Maybe I'm starting to get the hang of this. Now my average score seems to be around 330,000. And a couple of nights ago, I got 1,900,000 as a score, and I thought, wow. And I haven't been able to smash that since, but I'm getting close. And I'm just thinking, hey, I'm starting to realize what the strings are. It's funny, there's only 6 of them, and it's really hard to get it into your head what they are. But I've just about nailed it now, I think, and I can sometimes I can do quite well with the game, but sometimes I'm a little bit frustrated, and sometimes I think what's going on is it doesn't hear the note that you're plucking, or sometimes you pluck it too hard or too soft, or I do at least. And the other thing is too, if you have plucked one string and pluck another, I think the software gets a bit confused as to which string you've plucked. So you've got to sort of continually mute the strings on the fretboard, and that's not too difficult to do. It's kind of easy to get that into your mind, but you do get to a point, at least I do, where I sort of panic about hitting this string. Where is it? And I just start hitting all of them, and then I fail, of course. But it's actually starting to improve my idea of where the strings are, and it's starting to sink in the notes of the strings too, and even the sound of the strings, which is interesting, because up till last week, if someone plucked a guitar string and asked me what note is that, I'd probably give you the wrong answer. And I came up with a kind of a rude thing to remember, and it's Ed eats Ed ate dick, gay boy Ed, and it seems to me that sorry if you're offended by that, but that's, if something's a bit rude, I'm more able to remember something, I find. So there's a bundle of those things. There's something about elephants and so forth. But yeah, EADGBE. There's two sets of E's, you see, on a guitar. So I've kind of got that down. And the the colors they use for the strings in the game, which indicate which string it is, that's kind of sinking in too. I'm finding it really hard to snap the G string, which might sound quite funny. I'm sure a lot of guitarists have made fun of that over the years, but it's really hard to sort of get that one. It's right in the middle, but I'm trying. There's another game, and it's a bit like a duck hunt sort of thing, where you use the fretboard, and you're not really supposed to look at the fretboard, and you're supposed to kind of gauge where you are, and it sort of works a bit like Space Invaders, where you move your fingers is where you shoot from, and that kind of, yeah, it works, but it's a little bit advanced for me at the moment. And I haven't learnt chords or anything like that, so those are kind of off limits. But now I feel that I'm starting to learn those strings and learn the position of them, and I'm getting the hang of the fretboard as well, that I can go back to the regular games in Rocksmith and probably play a song and get a fair few of the notes. If I don't get all of them, which is likely, at least I'll probably get a fair few. So at the moment, I'm really sitting on a position of, I'm surprised that I've got this far. I am starting off, in a basement level. I'm just completely. I'm just at the moment sort of just getting to grips with, I've got a guitar, and it's not something that someone else should have and I shouldn't. It's mine. And I'm starting to like it. And I find I was a little bit worried that I'd practice a little bit and then think, oh, this is rubbish, and just kind of put the guitar away. But there is a sense of, especially with some of these mini games, oh, let's play just one more game before bed. So I find that's useful. So at the moment, I would recommend, if anyone's got an electric guitar or they want to play, it might be useful for you to get the thing and give it a shot, because yeah, I do think it's got some merit. I am surprised. I'm starting to think, hey, maybe at some point I'm going to be able to play this thing, and I'm finding that kind of shocking. I was sure that I could never get the hang of it, but now I'm starting to think there's a light. There's a light, and it's way at the end of the tunnel, but there's a light. So, so there's that. So, yeah, I'm sort of shocked. And the funny thing is, there's another thing that's happened to me, is that I've been talking about this on social media, and a lot of my friends have come out and said, oh, I play guitar. Do you? And I found that it's a more common thing than I would have imagined. I think maybe a lot of people take up guitar at some point, and then they sort of put it away. But they've been there, so now I'm here in this position as well. So, I'm going to make a few more videos later on, of course, as I go. I'm not really putting a time limit. I'm not really doing the 60-day challenge as such. I just want to improve gradually. And if I can improve gradually, and I can see that I'm improving gradually, then I'm feeling that's useful to me. So I'm going to keep doing this and playing the guitar every night. I sit here around about 9 o'clock, and I go through the routine. And I yeah, I really think that I'm going to keep going with it at the moment. So fascinated, really. It's a weird thing to think that maybe one day I'll be able to do some things. Harmonics was the thing that they tried to teach me that I found quite difficult. Trying to get the ping going, and what I did with that was I went to YouTube, and there was a guy there who said, now, when you try to do a harmonic, you've got to put your finger right over the metal bit on the fret. And I went, oh, okay. So I came back to Rocksmith, and I plugged in, and I tried it again, and I went, ping! And I went, aha! So that was a good tip. Yeah, so I find if I can't do something, just load up YouTube and do a search for it, because there's so many people teaching you things there that I don't think I'm ever going to get stuck on something. But I really thought harmonics were quite hard. I still think they are kind of hard. You've really got to have the magic touch for that, and I haven't. But maybe I can develop it. I don't know. So, stay tuned, everyone. See what you think. If you see me getting further, if my next video says I've got further, or if I've played a song or something and I'm ecstatic, you'll know that there's some. I'm not advertising the game at all. I'm not getting any payment or anything like that. I'm just, and it's not a fancy video, as you can see. It's just me talking. So, I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking, this is probably the best value game I've ever bought, because if in the end of the thing, when I'm finished with, and you're never really finished with music, you can always learn something new. But when I'm finished with it, if I feel that I've got somewhere, then I'll say, hey, this has been absolutely worth it. So, yeah, just completely stunned, really, I am. Okay, so that's basically all I want to say right now. I can't really think of anything else. I'm sure I wanted to say something else, but I've just kind of forgotten, which is likely. But anyway, I'm going to go back to it and have a crack and see what I can do, see if I can improve my score. Maybe try a few other games, maybe learn some chords. We'll see what happens, yeah. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Bye.